Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again into the Paranormal Portal. I'll be your guide, your anchor, your lead portaler. I don't know if that makes sense. Welcome everybody, though. Welcome to the show. I hope you guys are doing great. Thank you so much for joining me as we dive into the Saturday show. Some point along the journey, Mr. Tex Wesson is going to be joining us from Texas Front Porch. So we'll look forward to seeing him when he can make it. But until then, you got me. And we got a lot to get to, obviously, a lot of things to do. But just say hello to everybody. I see HB Girl to you, or Lucky Gypsy over on Rumble, as well as Barbara Mora. Good to see you guys over there. Thank you. And then in the YouTube chat, which is always flying, we've got Rachel Gets It Right, Aussie Tiger, Karen Alberding, Michelle Wolfong, Michelle Acchiavati, Aussie Tiger. Wait, what did I say? Did I say twice Aussie Tiger already? All right. Well, I'm going to continue. Jeffrey Garvey, or Jeff Garvey. I guess it's not Jeffrey, but I assume it's Jeffrey. Aggravated Progressive, who almost got into a motorcycle accident or almost died in a motorcycle accident tonight. I don't know what's going on, but I hope everything's okay. He said so in chat anyway. Our own Chucky Dangers here, which is great because it's question of the week night here on the portal, and we will be reviewing Chucky's question and your responses over on our Discord server. And if you're not already a member over there, please join. There's time. The link is in the description, or I'm sure Rachel will put it up here. But it is an opportunity for you to weigh in on the question of the week and tell us what you think. And that's been a fun segment. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's see who else is here. Michelle Wolfong is here. I'm here. I'm coming up in the chat too every once in a while. Let's see who else is here. Karen Alberding is here. Kedster is here. Or Kedstar. Sorry, I thought it said Kedster. Kedstar is here. Good to see you, Kedstar. Thanks for coming in. Thank you all for coming in. Obviously, I mean, everybody. Vincent Sanchez is here. All right, I'm scrolling to see who I've missed or who's up on the top of the chat right after we came in the door. So far, it looks like most everybody has been mentioned. So let's see what's going on the more current chat. I see Marie Garman is here. Good to see you, Marie. Thank you so much for coming in. Let's see, Kitty Cattywack's here. Good to see you. Always. All right, still got the things cooking on my chat. I don't know why. On-screen chats. Maybe it's how Restream is handling it. I don't know. Maddie Tyrrell is here, or Matt Tyrrell. Sorry, it's not Maddie, but maybe you go by Maddie. Either way, Blues Chick is here. Awesome, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. The Blues Chick, ladies and gentlemen, is here in the house. So I don't know if that's everybody or not. If I've missed anybody, I'm sorry. John Attitude is here. That's a new name to me, but. Are you a rebranded John, or are you a brand new John? Because we got a couple of Johns here, Temperin and God, names. Why are names so tough for me? It's like every time is like a black hole in my mind for names. And these are people I say hello to every day on the show. And you'd think somehow that would stick to my gray matter, but it doesn't. I don't know why. Dale Atkinson is here. We can get started now, Dale says. Well, Dale is the usher. He's the doorman. Thank you, Dale. Appreciate that. Whispering Portals is here, as is Annie Manuel. Hello, Annie. Good to see you. Hi there at Chucky Danger. Oh, I just saw Blues Chick is typing, so that's great to see new names always come up. That always makes me really excited because it's like, wow, it's neat. More people are finding the show. Certainly, I've been at this a number of years. I guess this is year 8, I guess, or something like 7 or 8 on YouTube. So yeah, it's neat to see new people still finding the show. It's tough on YouTube though. So I don't know. We're getting there though. More and more of you are finding us and coming in and checking it out. Aggravated Progressive. If I didn't say hi, I'm saying hi now. Oh yeah, I did. Cause you're yeah, I still don't know what's going on with this whole motorcycle thing. I hope you're okay. Are you kind of injured, but you didn't die? Is that what you're saying? Mark Eddy's here, of course. Mark Eddy is a wonderful guy. He is a good friend of Brian Bowden's, and now becoming friends with me. I think it's great. Good to see you, Mark. Thank you so much for coming in. Mark's just an incredible guy as well. So, hey, Brent, I will be adding this show of yours to my website to get you more followers. God bless you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Whispering Portals. That really means the world. I'd love to see it continue to grow and develop and become bigger than it is. Obviously, and it's not that I need that kind of validation, but it certainly helps with the bottom line of things. The bigger the show is, the more that I can do with it, honestly. So the more exposure we get, the better. I think Michael Buck is in here. You appeared on my feed. Hello from the UK. Well, hello, Michael. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in, and it's nice to meet you. I hope you stick around. Feel free to subscribe if you want. I'd love to have you here. Of course, always great to see new people. So what's going on? Anybody else? Have I missed? I've been talking a lot, but yeah, it's good to see the Facebook feed is working too, because we are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, X, and Twitch. And so we're just kind of keeping it as close as we can. Razor close. Another crotch rocket while passing a cage. Oh, well, that sounds dangerous. I'm glad you're okay. Certainly riding a bike is an amazing experience. I know how to drive a bike. I definitely feel better with more wheels under me personally. I'm just not an excellent biker. But I do love that feeling. It's just exhilarating as hell. But the problem with motorcycle riding is that not everybody's paying that much attention. I mean, and maybe it's our digital, attention span. But yeah, people got to focus on the road, and certainly bikes are small and they're easy to miss. So I hope y'all are being careful out there and watch for the bikes for sure. I've got a lot of family members that ride, and it would just crush me to hear that someday somebody didn't see them and ended up hurting one of my loved ones. But you're all my loved ones. So here has my email. Cadster17 is Cat Doherty. Oh, okay. I gotcha. Okay, well, it's great. I don't know how these rebrandings work. It doesn't give me any indication if these names are, rebrands and or you're brand new. But I don't know. At any rate, we're going to get to the news here momentarily and dive into the news stories of the day. And then we're going to get to the Discord question of the week. And then we're going to get to what the hell is that segment, where we take a look at some videos and talk about them and see if maybe they stand up as potential evidence or if they're just a bunch of trash. I ran across a fresh pile of trash today in one video, and it was so bad, and it frustrated the hell out of me because the AI videos, they go from really hard to tell to they are so absurd. Even though the graphic quality is really good, they're so absurd with what they're showing that it's clearly not real. And I think I'll show you that one. I think it's like a 3-minute video, so we'll just probably click through it as much as I can. But that one will be interesting. You're right. Ghost Radar is not on. So this down here, for those of you that are new, is the Ghost Radar. I run it on every show because there's no shortage of weird things happening around my house. And I think it could be by virtue of doing a paranormal show. Perhaps they are drawn to that. I don't know. And I'm not saying that just because something pops up on a Ghost Radar or something, it's like, oh, there's a ghost. And it has a word database on it that's a valid word. Sometimes they're relevant, and most often the words that it spits out are just ridiculous. Like, you'll be talking about a dog man and it'll say something like, I don't know, pickle. And it's like, well, that's not relevant at all. But, I will turn it on, though. What the hell's the date today? There it is. I got it. So let's turn this on and get the Ghost Radar on. June 28, 2025. I do like that it logs everything, though. So I've never bothered to look back at the logs. But I do have a log of everything that it records, because it records as it runs. So at any rate, Patricio352 came in. Hello to you. Good to see you. Happy Dog Lady is here, as is Elaine Clifford. Good to see you, Elaine. And Last Light 05 is here. Good to see you guys. Thank you all for coming in. Michael Buck, good to see you. Look forward to hearing what's going on and what this is all about. What's a paranormal show, but it's also like a variety show. We cover a lot of different topics in every show. But let's get to the new. Brent, you see that one yet? I sent you. I get a lot of emails. I'm not sure. Was it an email you sent me, Whispering Portals? I will double check sometime. Unfortunately, I don't know if that was, I don't think I got that today. Hello, Isaac. Kirsten, by the way, Kirsten, of course, and Isaac are a couple. They met here on the show. They are expecting a baby, and it will be born in just a matter of a week or two. Little Ethan is coming, and we're all excited. I saw the pictures of the baby room, and that's awesome, you guys. That's so exciting. I can't wait to see the baby picture. Little Ethan's coming. We're ready. And absolutely. Nate coming in, rolling a donation. God bless you, Nate. God bless you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. So let's get to the news, and so everybody knows what this show is all about. It is the Portal Baby. Ethan's going to be the Portal Baby. The first one, I think. I don't know of any other babies that are born from a couple that met on the show. So that's the first Portal Baby. So exciting news. All right. Hello, friend came in. Good to see you too. Dog Digger came in, and Justin Goodearth over on Rumble. And it's time, ladies and gentlemen, for the news. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paranormal Portal News Desk, and it's the exact same desk you saw before, just cool new border, or different border, not new, for those of you that have been here for a long time. It's the same one I've been using for years. But anyway, this is the news. It's not Two of Hearts, Poncho Zorch. That's not Two of Hearts, it's more disco. That's transition you just watched was made by Wes Germer of Sasquatch Chronicles, and just a talented guy. So anyway, Tex will be joining us as soon as he can. I don't know exactly when that'll be, but remember, throughout the course of the show, I utilize a lot of different websites, and these are incredible sites. They have amazing articles, and I hope that you guys will, I'm encouraging you to check these sites out on your own. Go visit them, because I can't even pull a fraction of the value of these sites and show you, but I hope you'll see these sites, hear me mention them, and go check them out, because your traffic does equal revenue to keep these sites going. These are incredibly well done sites, and the very least I can do is try to promote and support what they're doing. So please visit these sites. The first site we're going to be utilizing for the news, as I've got 3 articles to cover for the news stories tonight. And this is, oh, hi, Kirsten. She's here. Hi, Kirsten. Good to see you. Only a few weeks. Oh, it's a few weeks. Okay. The first site is the Portal News site, basically. It's for a website called unexplained-mysteries.com. It's an incredible site, and there's so much they offer. It's not just these articles that I'm hitting on here. They offer so much more on the whole site. But scientists begin effort to create artificial human DNA from scratch. What? Did we need that yet? I didn't know we needed that yet. Why do we need that? Why do we need to create scratch DNA? We're doing just fine, I think. Right? So we got to have artificial intelligence. Now we got artificial DNA coming. You know what that means? Like, superheroes are just around the corner. I'm pretty sure we're going to have superheroes. We're going to have like Captain Americas and Spider-Man and stuff. I don't know what that means. That to me, honestly, that's concerning. It's the Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. You know, science never wonders. It doesn't wonder. Science only asks itself what it can do, not what should it do, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing that really poorly. But this is kind of like, are we just going to bubble grow babies now in a lab somewhere if this takes off? Oh, yeah, we don't do the breeding thing anymore. It's like, sign me out. I'm not into that one. That's weird. Weird, but let's see. I don't know. Let's see what it says. I'm jumping to assumptions based on a headline, so let's see what the article actually says. The controversial research aims to cure diseases. Okay, good. Bonus one. But it also has the potential to create, oh God, here we go, biological weapons. What the hell? We don't need help with that either. What are you guys doing? 25 years after the Human Genome Project first mapped the molecules in human DNA, scientists are now beginning the mammoth task of creating artificial human DNA from scratch. Why? All right. The hope is that it will make it possible to develop new treatments for incurable diseases, but there is a catch. Such research could also make it possible to create biological weapons, and there is also a concern that it could lead to fundamental changes in the DNA of future human generations. Why? We're looking at therapies that will improve people's lives as they age, which is good. I like that part. But that will lead to healthier aging with less disease as they get older, said Dr. Julian Sale of the MRC Laboratory of Molecular Biology in Cambridge, told BBC News. Of course, that's what they say. They're going to tell you what is the wonderful things they can do, but it's the bad things they can do that they don't tell you. And then they, end up spraying it over populations somewhere, and there's nothing but problems. I mean, I'm not a conspiracy person. Please don't believe that. But I don't believe that these intentions are as altruistic as the press release. I think that probably it's being perpetuated in a large degree by defense contractors and networks and stuff. I just think every new technology that comes out, it's like, what can we kill with this? Like that's the first thing it's thought of. What can we kill? How quickly will this kill? How many people will it kill? It's like, we don't need that. Yeah, Eric Fry. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's what scares me about this stuff. We're looking to use this approach to generate disease-resistant cells that we can use to repopulate damaged organs, for example, in the liver and heart, even the immune system. The first step of the research will be to find a way to create increasingly larger blocks of DNA until it is possible to create a full human chromosome. Building DNA from scratch allows us to test out how DNA really works. This is how it all goes to hell. And test out new theories, because currently we can only really do that by tweaking DNA and DNA that already exists in the living systems, said Professor Matthew Hurls, director of the Wellcome Sanger Institute. Making sure that this research isn't misused, however, is of paramount importance. Flowery press speech. The genie's out of the bottle, said genetic scientist Professor Bill Earnshaw. We could have a set of restrictions now, but if an organization who has access to the appropriate machinery decided to start synthesizing anything, I don't think we could stop them. Exactly. And there's going to be somebody that's going to do just that. I mean, there's a lot of twisted souls in this world, and I don't think you give them a different gun, and I'm not putting down, this isn't a discussion about guns, but you know what I mean? It's like, this is another weapon. And I don't know. I just don't trust the altruism of this. I think it could do amazingly wonderful, beneficial things, but it could also do some horrible things. And how do you mitigate that? How do you protect against that? So that's my take. That's disturbing the hell out of me. I don't think we need that yet. I mean, granted, I think things like the CRISPR technologies could be cool, and that's where you can edit the sequence that's already there, and maybe take out things that cause disease or or maladies of some kind, and you can make the person a healthier person, or maybe even eventually reverse aging of some kind. But I just don't think we need to build that stuff in a test tube and then see what happens. It's kind of like that idea in Washington where they release 15,000 page bills with 24 hours to sign it. And it's like, nobody can read that. And then you get little sound bites like, well, we'll just have to sign it to see how it all works out. It's like, no, that's not good math. So I don't know. That's my take on it. I don't like this. That's concerning. I do love technology. I do love advancement, but I don't like the idea of how easily they could misuse it, and it could become. There could be a new strain of Homo sapien that is way better, or it's the whole idea. It's another version of something will surpass us and will become obsolete. And then what? I don't like that version. All right. Next article. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if history shows us something, it's like everything that can be made is first figured out if it can be a weapon. And then maybe you get some aspirin or something out of it. It's like a tree, like a I don't know, a birch tree or whatever. Is it birch or is it willow? I forget. But whatever tree the aspirin comes from, it's like the first uses of that was probably a club, and then maybe somebody along the line figured out that the bark could help you kill some pain. It's like that becomes after the fact that it's first a stick, and you can hit something with it. I don't know. It's human nature, right? All right. I don't mean to belabor that. That's the first article. Let's get to the next one, because this one has to do with UFOs. I didn't even know this, but I guess it's today. I don't know. I didn't know this was today, but I guess it's World UFO Day. Happy World UFO Day, everybody. If that is today, that's news to me. Unexplained-mysteries.com brings us this article. World UFO Day celebrates 78 years of UFO culture and intrigue. All right. Bonus. Who's celebrating this exactly? I just heard about it now. I didn't see any parades, or nobody got me a World UFO Day present at all that I've ever seen. So it's just another calendar blotter. I guess it's better to have one day, at least to acknowledge that this is a real phenomenon, though. UFOs have become a global phenomenon over the last few decades, and interest is showing no signs of slowing down, right? Because it's not slowing down itself. So, the precise date of World UFO Day hovers between, they're not even sure, I guess, hovers between June 24th and July 2nd, with the former being the anniversary of Kenneth Arnold's flying saucer sighting, and the latter being the date of the Roswell incident. Many, however, attribute Arnold's sighting as being the true beginning of modern UFO phenomena. Arnold has been flying his plane, a Cal Air A2, from Chehalis, Washington to Yakima, Washington, on June 24, 1947, when he decided to make a quick detour in an attempt to track down the wreckage of a missing military plane which had crashed somewhere near Mount Rainier. Failing to locate it, he had resumed his flight eastward when he witnessed what appeared to be a formation of 9 highly reflective objects flying in the sky. The mysterious aircraft were stretched out across an area of about 5 miles in what he described as a diagonally stepped down echelon formation. He quickly realized that he was not looking at any conventional aircraft. Assuming them to be some sort of prototypes being tested by the military, Arnold estimated that they were traveling at speeds of up to 1,700 miles per hour, far faster than any known aircraft at the time. Upon landing, he told some of his pilot friends about what he'd seen, and by the next day, he was being interviewed by reporters. His description of the objects would lead to coining the term flying saucer. Exactly what it was he had seen that day continues to remain a topic of intrigue and debate. As things stand, it's unlikely that we'll ever know for sure what really happened. Well, yeah, because I'm sure he's gone, and we can't download and suck it out of his brain. So, yeah, unfortunately, that's the tragedy of time, I guess. A lot of these incredible sightings and stuff, there's no more opportunity to really investigate it because everyone involved is no longer with us. All right, well, that was article number 2. Happy UFO Day, whenever the hell it is, depending on what you think. I guess whether you line it with Roswell or Mr. Arnold's sighting, I don't know. Either way, happy UFO Day, everybody. All right, let's get to the next article because I got one more for you tonight. This one I was hoping Tex would be here because this is one that he tied to an actual fingerprint that he found that he believes is a Bigfoot fingerprint. And he has imagery of, and I would encourage you to go over to Texas Front Porch channel. In fact, I meant to pull it up if we could have. Let me see if I can, because it might be interesting. Let me read the article first. World's oldest human fingerprint discovered on ancient rock art. So there you go. There's the oldest human fingerprint. And that's, I don't know. Is that, I'm looking at my own hand. It's like, I don't know. That looks different from mine, I think. It says police forensic experts helped to reveal the fingerprint, which dates back 42,000 years. David Alvarez Alonso et al. Is this a really long one? Oh, dear God, this is very long. Well, let's read the first few paragraphs of this. A unique archaeological find has recently expanded our knowledge of the Neanderthals' capacity is what I meant to say, for symbolic thought. The object in question is a granite stone on which a red ochre dot was deliberately applied to reinforce the image of a human face. It is to date the oldest example of portable art associated with the Neanderthals. The most remarkable aspect of this discovery was the identification of a fingerprint in the pigment at a level we have unequivocally dated to more than 42,000 years ago. So it's even older than 42,000 years. The fingerprint means the find is direct evidence of a symbolic action that we can attribute to Neanderthal human, Homo neanderthalensis, I think. Did you hear my attempt to pronounce that? Homo neanderthalensis. You need someone like Dr. Jeff to spit those words out flawlessly, but that's not me. I don't have a scientific palate, apparently. This discovery is the fruit of over 2 years of research and was published in May 2025 in the Archaeological and Anthropological Sciences. In addition, the team of archaeologists and geologists, our paper was co-authored by members of Central Identification Unit of the General Commissary of Scientific Police. Wait, science has police too? Ooh. Hope I haven't broke any of their laws. Whose contributions were vital to the work's success. Well, there you go. I'm not going to read the whole article. I'll tell you what I will do. I'll put a link in the chats if anybody wants to read more of what this gentleman is saying. Ooh, I got three dots. You guys can't see it because I don't have the ghost radar up on this screen. But yeah, there's 3 dots again. Every time they come, when they're coming in groups, it's always 3 dots of weirdness around me. That's the sound of, apparently, it according to the app, more really intense energy. I don't know. It just detects EM fluctuations, but it's more intense EM fluctuations. So that's kind of cool. Where was I? I was going to paste this. There it is. Pasting it in that chat, and now over in Rumble. If you guys want to check out more about this, please do. If you're not familiar with this, that doesn't look like our fingers. Ours are more swirly. I think that looks more in line with the great apes, I think. But now I want to see how ancient is ancient. Well, this is over 47,000 years old, they said. So the print itself is quite old, and it's believed to be Neanderthal print. Now, what I was going to do quick, if I can, I'm going to try. youtube.com/ well, let's just go there. I'm going to see if I can get to Tex's page and rip him off for his video. If I can. Well, I mean, we might have to wait until he's here because I don't know if I can. There it is, Texas Front Porch. I think it's a short, so that's why it might work out good. Because that doesn't take long to tell. Oh, everybody knows that song. That's Texas theme song. He's got an autoplay here. Let me see. Where is it? A gift from Alabama. No, which one is it? I don't know. Oh, he's got members only on a couple of these though. So I can't show his shorts, I guess. Because I'm not a member, so I won't be able to do that. Okay, well, we'll see if Tex can at least shine more light on it or tell you how you can check it out yourself. I don't know. I certainly can't. So, but it's interesting because Tex did find a print very much like this in his neck of the woods and his research. So I think that's very exciting. All right. So at any rate, this has been the news. I hope you guys have found value in this. Again, it's not all paranormal. Like, oh, there's on this date haunting happened, or Becky over in in Squahalmie, Washington, saw a Bigfoot crossing her yard and picking up a kitten. Nothing like that. But sometimes we do get some good paranormal stuff. So, T-Bone says he's on his way. Gotcha. Well, anyway, we can revisit this when he's with us. I'll leave that article open so we can refer to it and maybe have more of a discussion about this. But in the meantime, let's get back to the rest of the show because it's time. Oh, well, there he is now. There you are, handsome.
Hey.
I didn't even know you were here. You snuck in like the back door. That didn't sound right at all, did it? Sorry. You just snuck in. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tex Wesson of Texas Front Porch. Good to see you, man. How you been?
You too, brother.
So did you see that fingerprint article that we were talking about? I was letting everybody know that you had a print that really matched that pretty well from potentially a Bigfoot.
Yeah, I jumped in right as you were talking about it.
I'm putting it up on screen.
Right as the theme song hit, and I'm like, "Hey, cool! He's bringing me on the theme song." But
yeah, I wish I was that high tech. Yeah, I like
so I actually queued up the video, so when you want to show it, we can share it and that type of thing.
Okay. Let me just put you on screen because it's now. Are you seeing the screen now of the show? Because that's the image that's been found, or that's from an ochre dot. That's a Neanderthal fingerprint. Are you able to see that on YouTube?
You jump over here real quick. Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, let's back out of the news and we'll figure out how to share your video. Okay.
That's actually the article that I pulled the fingerprint from that I compared it to.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Excellent. Well, let's close the news and we'll take a look at Texas thing. Everybody commit this to memory. I put the links in the chats if you guys want to compare on your own as well, but I think it's fascinating. And it's huge news that you found something that matches that today.
I think it is.
Yeah. I do too. Hell yeah. So let's get back to the rest of the show. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, back in the main seat. The main seat. Now, are we going to do it through Zoom, do you think, or?
Yeah, we can figure it out.
Well, on the bottom of the Zoom window, do you see a share? I don't know if that'll work or not. One participant may share at a time. So I think you're set to share if you want to, if you can click that. I don't know. This is new to me. We've never done the sharing the screen thing, but...
there's a share right there. Sharing is not turned on. You can request sharing. Hang on. So let me send a request.
I'm going to allow.
Okay. There we go. So let's see where we at here.
I missed your rumbling tone. Is it not working?
Well, no, for some reason.
It's okay. Just
try this again here.
now, is this a short or is it a longer video?
It's not a short, but it's not a long video.
Okay, cool. Well, that's interesting. Your background disappeared.
Yeah, I'm going through the share options.
T-Bone pulled it up. Yeah, I went there, but I where is the video exactly? Maybe I can.
It's under videos.
Under videos. Oh,
On
okay.
my channel.
All right,
You may have better luck sharing it on your side.
yeah, let me try that. Hold on, folks. Just bear with me here, and I'll try to pull it up. All right, youtube.com/Texas. It's not even helping me. I hate that when it doesn't do that. I gotta actually put you in the search bar and do it the old-fashioned way. I guess I can close this article now because you were familiar with that. Man, everything is being doggy tonight. I don't know why. Are you there?
I am here.
Okay, I don't know why my computer is just spanking me here, but at any rate, let me just keep trying to. I don't know what's going on, folks. There's a conspiracy. All right, let me try this. YouTube. There we go. Now we're moving. Just it was hung up on something. Okay, so
They were being spiritually attacked. I don't know.
what's that? Yeah, it could be. I don't know. All right, I'm under videos. Which one is it?
It's called
Bigfoot or Neanderthal fingerprints, right?
Yes, that is the one.
All right, I'm going to put it up on screen, folks, and we'll watch it. It is 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Whoa, just hold on there, Mr. Front Porch. He was just ready to go, Tex. All right, let me minimize everything else. I shift from window to window, and I've got two very different size monitors here, so. All right, we'll put
Rachel says you have to disable the spanking feature.
It's my favorite part.
Right?
All right, here we go. I'm going to put it up on screen here, folks. Let's check out Tex's video. I'm going to try to center it a little more. There we go. Here we go. Look at that. Wow. I think I'm going to bring that volume down a little bit. Look at that. Yeah, that's not people. Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty amazing.
The big interesting part to me is that if you look at your own thumb or finger, that's not what our prints look like at all. We get these swirls and things like that, and this is totally a horizontal arc. And
human footprints, footprint. Damn it! Human fingerprints swirl without fail.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. You can't even fake, like, try to smear a pattern that would be this concise and show all of this detail. Like,
No, I don't think so.
no, not at all. That's amazing, dude. That's huge. That is a huge find. And the comparison is right there. I mean, yeah, there's variations. There's a bit of arcing on this one versus not on this one, but I mean, this is a very primate-y kind of pattern, not so much sapien pattern. It's more of a hominin pattern. Wow. Okay, let's continue. Okay. Yeah, then we
It
got
actually merges the two here in a minute. So.
Oh, okay. We'll just let it play, folks, and keep an eye on this.
Because I wanted to leave the comparison up for a long time so people could really study it if they wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not something you want to gloss over. I mean, that's huge. That's actually monumental.
And it leaves us, like everything else, it leaves us with no questions.
Yeah, absolutely. There's I mean, tons. But it also answers, it checks a few boxes, you know, like, wait a minute, this is huge. This could be a more of a direct descendant or a close cousin to what Neanderthals were. That's amazing.
What it tells me is we've got something that was wandering around 48,000 years ago that they're calling a Neanderthal.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. Wow.
And we've still got something running around as of 2003 that had enough DNA to make the fingerprints very, very similar.
Is it this one here? Is it the thumbprint?
Yeah, that's off the thumbprint. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because there's a bit of smearing on the other ones, but man, it laid that thumb down just perfect to leave that detailed impression. That's really cool. And then the hair. I mean, this is like hair smears too, right?
Yeah, well, especially back over here, that's the forearm right there.
Oh, this is the forearm? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that looks like it's done with a freaking paintbrush. The hair's so thick.
Yeah. Well, you know, and it's also interesting because there's been other accounts of people catching impressions on their windshields and windows like this, and it's very oily. Like, you know, and perhaps that's part of their insulating factor, much like, you know, like a I don't know, or weather factor, like keep them from getting like pruny, like we get pruny when we're in the water too much. And certainly Bigfoot seems to favor a more rainy environments. I think that was somebody's speculation was that they're much more predominantly located in areas that have pretty regular rainfalls and such. Obviously, the Pacific Northwest being one of them. But wow,
right. I see a couple of questions in chat.
Sure, go ahead.
I'll answer here in a minute. But I wanted to say, several months later, at another spot, we caught. We pulled a handprint. Now these handprints that are on here, which these are on my truck. Okay, folks, that's what this handprint is on. It's on the bed of my truck. And several months later, at another camp spot about 3 miles down the road, we lifted a handprint off of another vehicle. These are a lot smaller that we're looking at right now than anybody's on the team. That's one thing that we wanted to put out there. Mm-hmm. But even though our hands are bigger than these handprints, you can't replicate the spread or the location of the thumb compared to the location of the fingers.
Oh, right.
Because it's like the thumb is located in like lower down on the hand.
Right, more like at the wrist area of us, right?
Yeah.
Even though it's like their hands are longer, right?
It's like it would be here, something, or it's just a weird angle, much like more of a primate looking hand.
Yeah.
And the bigger handprint that we got off the vehicle several months later was the same way. Okay. But we were able, we learned from this, from when this happened, I started carrying a roll of clear packing tape in my truck. Uh-huh. And we pulled that handprint, and that handprint was what you were referring to a while ago. It was very, very oily.
Yes. Yeah.
So we pulled that handprint, the entire thing, and we bagged it, and we are now sponsored to have DNA done on it. So that is forthcoming.
Oh, very cool. Wow. That's amazing. Very true. Yeah, and feel free to address the questions from the chat. I didn't see them.
Somebody just asked me what the handprint was on. It's on the bed of my truck.
On the bed.
And this is not just a one-off thing. We were able to identify 3 separate sets of prints that night, all over both trucks that were sitting there. So, and not only that, and I'll tell the backstory real quick. I was up doing a solo investigation in Brown Springs Cemetery. Okay. My safety team was at the bottom of the cemetery. Now, the cemetery sits up on a hill about 100 yards off in the woods. It's not easy access. You got to walk up a washout to get to it. It's not a used cemetery. It's very old. The youngest death date's 1924.
Wow. Okay.
Now, so I'm up there at night doing this investigation, and I'm doing a live show at the same time. My phone goes dead about 2 hours in, and my safety team rushes up to get me. Okay. In their haste, they leave the keys in the truck. The truck's unlocked. There's thousands of dollars worth of electronics in the truck. There's also a bear-proof Yeti cooler that's in the back of the truck, and it's closed and latched. The tailgate is up. Okay. When we came back down, we didn't know anything had happened. So we're walking around the trucks and stuff like that. And then we find the handprints. And we're like, what is this? So we're like a bunch of kids in a candy store. So at that point, we'd pretty much probably destroyed any footprints that were in the, around.
Right.
We were so wrapped up in these handprints. Then what we found was the tailgate on my partner's truck was down. There was water and ice dribbled over the tailgate, and the cooler had been unlatched and opened, but not latched back. It was closed, but it wasn't latched. Something had dipped its hand into the water and the ice in the cooler and evidently got a drink out of it.
Oh, wow.
And up on the back of the cab of his truck, there were 2 handprints side by side like this, with water dripped down in between them. Much like if I scooped my hands up and got me a drink of water and the water was dripping on my beard, that's what would happen.
Oh, man. That's
so
incredible.
Whatever this was, and from what we can determine, there was 3 of them. All the handprints were smaller than anybody's there. Whatever this was, one of these things had jumped up in the back of this truck, got a drink out of the cooler is what we can determine, got a drink out of the cooler, jumped up in the bed of his truck, leaned on the back of his truck and watched them walk up the trail to get me.
Wow.
That's what we think happened. So it was very exciting, very exciting. So
that's really a 1 in 10,000 kind of encounter. I mean, that there was that much going on there, and that quickly, because it doesn't sound like you guys were away from the vehicles for a long time, but it sounded like it moved in real quickly after they jumped out to run up there to get you. Is that right?
It was about a 30-minute window.
Yeah, that's not much. I mean, for them, and that kind of speaks to the comfort that they, or the maybe the balls that they have, honestly, just to be like, hey, the truck's gone. Let's go over and see what they got. They're not trepidation or anything.
Right. And all the handprints were, like I said, smaller than anybody's there. And they were all, aside from the ones that was on top of the cab, all the rest of them were below the edge of the bed of the truck or the hood of the truck, and they were all reaching up.
Oh, so it was a little one.
So they were either squatted down, creeping around the trucks, or they were short. One of the two.
Interesting.
So, and right across the street, right across the dirt road is a marsh.
Oh.
And it's white caliche gravel roads, dust flies everywhere. And if you notice, that handprint that I showed that was on the video is dirtier than my truck. Well, it makes sense if they were over in that marshland and they were wet, that they would pick up all this white dust on all the foliage and everything.
Sure. Yeah.
Not to mention if they were crawling, you know?
Yeah, sure. Right.
Um,
On all fours.
yeah, because at the bottom of this cemetery is a freshwater spring that bubbles up right there by the trucks.
Oh, it was serious. Oh, nice.
Yeah, it surfaces right there under at where the trucks were parked, and it flows directly underneath the cemetery.
That's fascinating. Wow.
So, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what these. I'm not gonna pretend to know exactly what left these prints.
Sure.
Can't.
Right.
I didn't see what left. I know what I've experienced in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know what a lot of other people have seen and saw and seen and saw. Good God. We were just talking about grammar on the other show. Um,
Seen sows. Yep.
yeah. I, I know what a lot of other people have seen and experienced there.
Yeah. Yep.
So going from that, I automatically assumed, which never assume, I get it, but that it very well might be juvenile Bigfoot,
Yeah.
okay, in the area.
Yep.
Now, was it? Hell, I don't know.
Yeah. You didn't see it, but yeah. I
Right.
mean, the small handprint, the big spread between the thumb and the fingers, the hair smears. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
And then the big smoking gun to me again is, and I want to go back to this because this is truly the focal point. It does align with that Neanderthal print from 47,000 plus years ago. So,
Right.
I mean, it's at least similar enough. It's definitely not human. It's not a human
Right.
print. So, from what we can see, I mean, and the detail, the actual striations in that top skin layer that show the print, there's a lot of detail there. So it's not like it just got smeared weird and made this weird, horizontal pattern. There's a lot of detail there. So the thumb rested. Looks like the fingers smeared, like maybe it was like this, and then like maybe pulled the fingers, just feeling.
Right.
But the thumb was anchored because it left that perfect digit print. So that's incredible. But
Think, and going back to more questions and answers. Like I said earlier, we've got something running around that was running around or had a very close, relative running around almost 48,000 years ago.
yeah,
And was able to do and did cave paintings. That's where that print came from.
right.
That they're talking about, the Neanderthal one that they're calling that they're calling a Neanderthal. They don't know,
Right.
okay. But what they're calling a Neanderthal was right beside a cave painting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a
So
red ochre print that they were able to
yeah,
extrapolate. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, very, very
So
cool.
what are we dealing with? We don't know what we're dealing with.
Yeah. I don't know either, but I think that I just wanted to really call attention to this because I know you posted and got really underwhelming response, and I want everybody to know about it because I think it's enormous. I think it's huge. It's a big discovery, and I hope more people will share that out there. I hope you guys will go over there and visit that and give Tex your love because, he's doing great work, guys. He's out there doing the work. He's in the field. He's looking into these mysteries firsthand as much as he can, and we all need your love and support. So please go over to Texas Front Porch channel and subscribe, and give him some love on these videos. That's just incredible. I mean, you've had it up for 1 month and it's got 173 views, and it's like
Yeah.
the most exciting thing I've seen in a long time coming out of Bigfoot. I mean,
Well,
honestly,
and that's what I don't understand.
yeah,
And I'll be honest with you. I was very disappointed, not only in just the people that subscribe to my channel,
yeah,
but the community in general, because we're always talking about, oh, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? Show me evidence.
ta-da!
Here it is. Here it is.
Hey, everybody that's looking for evidence, there, right there.
Yeah.
That's a great
And
piece of evidence.
it's like, it's not even a blip on the radar.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if we can change that around Texas. I mean, it's not uncommon for a video to sit silently for years on YouTube and then suddenly explode. But we'll see if we can help push that along, because I think more people need to know about this. So, and you guys share this video from Texas page out there. Let people see it and go, hey, here's some great evidence. What do you think? You know, and of course, it's going to be a mixed bag of responses, but that's
Oh yeah, absolutely.
that's
It's
normal.
always going to be.
But you might get enough people that are interested and willing to help further the discussion. I don't know why that "the" was hard to spit out, but there it is.
I am in talks. I am in talks with somebody that wants to put this out there in a huge way.
Good.
We're talking on TV, so I think that's going to happen.
Yes.
So I'm really excited about that, because the person I'm in talks with is not going to shift the agenda or anything like that. He's going to put it out there with even more facts to back it up. Like I said, they've sponsored us to get the other print DNA tested.
Oh, sweet.
And when we found that big handprint, another thing that was very exciting was we had been walking around behind where this fingerprint was left, behind this SUV, and peeing all night. There was only like a half a dozen of us at camp. And the guy that owned the SUV walked back there and he said, "Which one of you SOBs put your greasy paw on my truck?" So we all went. He goes, "Y'all got to take a look at this." We all went around the back of the other side of the SUV, and we're looking at this handprint, and we noticed that this was the same spot where we had all been taking leaks all night, and you can see our little pee spots. And I've got a picture of it, and I wish I'd known, and I should have got with you, but we'll do that we can do that on another show if you want.
Sure.
I've got a picture of this.
Okay.
Right below the handprint, you can see our little pee marks. And then there's this pee spot about this big around.
Oh, let me go full screen on you there. Make the hand gesture again so I can see it. How big around?
It's about the pee spot's about this big around, covering up our pee spots. Okay.
So Daddy showed up and went, "Hey, this is my turf."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were like, "Holy crap!" Well, the first thing that everybody says, "Oh, did you get a sample? Did you get a sample?" Why?
Yeah.
Why? Because we had already been peeing there. I don't even know if you can get DNA out of pee. I have no idea. But we'd already been peeing there, and the first thing they're going to tell you when they send it in for DNA anyways, it's contaminated with human DNA.
Yes,
well, no kidding.
Yeah. Because it was
So there was absolutely no sense in doing that.
No,
but we, like I said, we pulled the handprint, which I think that's going to be the most valuable part.
Yeah. Well,
so,
I think it's brilliant, and I'm exceptionally excited by this personally, and I hope to impress that upon the audience. Guys, get this out there. Let people know. I mean, this is great. Yeah. I know there's a lot of you that are very much into the Bigfoot world, and please help Tex get this out there. It's not a small thing. This is a great big smoking gun. So thanks for letting us go into that a little bit tonight, brother. I know I kind of dropped it in your lap like, hey, hot potato, but I wanted everybody to know, especially since I was going to be covering that article anyway. It's like, oh, well, we got to go into this. So it took a little extra time, ladies and gentlemen.
I appreciate you getting out there. I really did. And I want to say hi to Brian Bowden. I saw him out there.
I saw that too. Sorry. I didn't mean to not acknowledge him. Go ahead.
And I've had these handprints looked at by fingerprint experts, law enforcement side of it, and also wildlife experts. And they all tell me the same thing. I can't tell you what it is, but I can tell you it's not human.
Yeah. That's so fascinating. There you go. There's
that in my mind, that right there's a win. I mean,
huge win. Yeah, absolutely. So there you have it, folks. Just go over and get involved on Texas Front Porch. Give them some love on that. Good to see you, Brian. Always a pleasure, sir. And let's continue the journey, because we got to get to the question of the week. We got to get to the what the hell is that? And we got a lot to get to. So are you ready for the question of the week, Text? I held that off until you got here because I know you enjoyed that segment.
I do. I think this is my favorite part of the show.
No, that's great. I love it too. I've been having a blast with it myself. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the Discord question of the week. Is this it? Yes, it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to dive into the world of Discord. You've had a little extra time as we discussed this incredible correlation between the Neanderthal print and Texas prints that they found down on the research in Brown Springs. So I hope you all got a chance to answer. Let's see what's going on. This is our Discord server, everybody. And again, if you're not familiar with it, Discord is wide open. We'd love to have you over there. Trying to get it on screen better. Here we go. There we go. Kind of foreshadowing some of the future cryptid corner. If we get to it tonight, I don't know if we'll get to it, but we'll get to where we can. All right, this is our Discord server. If you join, we'd love to see you. If you're not already a member, become a member. Costs you nothing, and it's the great community of our chat room. Many of them very same people are on the Discord. So join Discord and get involved. You can continue the conversation even after the shows are over. And it's kind of fun to stop in there. I don't stop in there as much as I probably should, but I don't have time, unfortunately. But I do look in there as often as I can. And I love what you guys post and the information you share. Very cool stuff. So this is the question of the week, folks. Let's get to it. This is for this week. This is the one, right? Lake monsters? Yeah, right? Yeah, this is the one. This is the one. All right, Chucky Danger is the man in the booth. He is the wizard of the question of the week and has been doing some amazing jobs, some great contribution ideas from other people as well in our Discord community. You guys are all awesome. If you have an idea for a question of the week that you'd like Chucky to have posted, let him know. Message him in Discord or somewhere and pitch your idea. It's completely in Chucky's hands, but absolutely amazing job he's been doing, and my hat's off to him. Thank you, Chucky. Not literally, because you don't want to see what's under here right now. It's just like a scary forest of hair. But anyway, here we go. Here's the Discord question of the week for tonight. Question of the week: lake monsters and sea serpents have been reported and venerated for all of human history. One very curious detail is that all these creatures have horn-like protrusions on their heads. From the Chinese dragon to the Ogopogo, do you think this is just another unrecognized species around the globe, much like Sasquatch? What do you think about lake serpents? Are these the sacred creatures in the lake that the tribes have been telling tales about? Or are these just mistaken identities, lines of ducks or otters, sturgeons, or swimming moose? Great question. We don't do a lot of talking about lake monster stuff here on the show. There's a person I'm going to try to get on the shows to interview, and we can have a great discussion about Champ. Anyway, and I'm sure other lake monsters. She did some research up in Loch Ness as well. So I'm going to see about that. So stay tuned. More information coming. But Playnendo Gaming comes in first and says, I feel there are several cryptids that they know about but can't disclose because of how foolish they would look. It's only when we've been desensitized enough that they will drip feed us small tidbits. Same with UFO disclosure. Interesting thought. Yeah. I mean, certainly there does seem to be, I guess, groups within our governing bodies that are very aware of all of this stuff. But I guess we're not high enough on that food chain, Tex. What do you think?
Well, I think you're onto something. I don't think we're high enough in the pecking order.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm working on it. So far, not really close. Not much closer than I was any other day, but yeah, interesting. All right. Erica Wandering Purple Hobbit comes in and says, just a great question. The only countries that hide the existence of Sasquatch-like critters is the USA and the Canucks up north. Why? I have my theories on that, mostly because what would Brent talk about if they didn't hide it? True. I mean, if everybody knew about it, man, I might be out of a job. Seriously, though, think of how few people would get in the water, much less travel on it, if they knew about these water-based cryptids. All the cruise businesses might go bankrupt. Heaven forbid, huh? As I always say, there's so much we don't know about so much. Makes me wonder about why, where, when. Doesn't it? You? Everybody sing along like cryptids in June about how about you. Oh, he made a little ditty about it, and then Chucky posted some images. Oh, this is the one I didn't. I remember seeing this one. This is Canada's stamp thing. This one, I don't know that it's actually a water cryptid. I always felt like it was like a submerged toy because it looks like castle parapets there. And certainly this eye could just be some difference. It almost looks like a He-Man Castle Grayskull or some kind of thing like that. But
Yeah, I mean, could it be? Yeah.
yeah, it could be. I mean, not that I know what they should look like, but
But it looks to me, I don't know. It looks very AI to me.
yeah, but this image is actually prior to AI. It's been around for a number of years. But it doesn't mean it couldn't be photoshopped or something like that. I do notice
Right.
so if I could, I wish I could just zoom it in more, but I really can't. But there's a weird highlight on the edges of this one possible horn.
Yeah.
It does look like it might be disturbing the water as it's coming up a little bit, but it does have a weird highlight there, and that makes me go, huh. This is
Well, that's true. And even if you look at the rings over on the second horn,
this one.
they're spread out more, and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, so
It's I mean, it is choppy a little bit on the surface of the water. It's not like
Yeah.
a mirrored surface, but it is interesting. Could it be? Yeah. I mean, it could be legit. That does look like an eye and possibly a snout with a mouth beneath it, but I don't know. Not sure. It's a great picture though. I do like that one.
You know, we went over this on Truth or Tinfoil one time, and we dismissed it. But I don't know, man. The more I look at it,
Yeah. This one again?
the more I look at it, I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, I can't be sure. It's just the big thing for me was like it looks like towers, and then that cone that sits on top of towers that's a little bigger than the shaft of it. And that's what kind of throws me because I don't think there's any other representation other than giraffes. I guess giraffe has a more of a protrusion on the end and then has a shaft under it. But every other antlered or horned animal, it doesn't do that, I don't think.
Very phallic.
I guess it is. I guess it is, in a manner of speaking. Yeah, it is. So, and then of course, I don't think this one's real. Dex, what do you think?
I'm going to go no.
Okay. Yeah, well, I think we're pretty clear on that one. I won't even do a chat poll on that one. I think we all agree, but those are great representations. Thanks, Chucky, for posting pictures.
I don't know. That looks real to me.
Whose is this? I don't know why it does this. I hate this. That it crunches I think this is Maggie's. Oh, yeah, it is. It's got to be Australian Aboriginal folklore dating back more than 3,000 years via rock art paintings. There's a mollywonk. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. The name is one Aboriginal word for the monster that lives in the water. It's also known as the Mooney Mooney. It's said to be a serpentine being similar to a water dragon or mythical eel. The appearance varies amongst different Aboriginal groups. Some Aboriginal rock art paintings in New South Wales area of Hawkesbury occasionally show the mollywonk as to have a single horn or bony crest atop its head. Without further research, I personally am unsure as to whether the Mooney Mooney is a different creature than to the Hawkesbury River monster, which is said to be more like Loch Ness monster or plesiosaurs. However, it could be part of the general Aboriginal lore of rainbow serpent entities belonging to the broader family of serpents said to inhabit Australia's varied rivers and waterways. I find it curious these sightings have been spoken of and documented in rock art form for thousands of years. They're all oddly specific and similar. Thanks, Brent and Chucky. I can't take any credit here, but this is all Chucky. But yeah, absolutely. Great answer. That's interesting.
Absolutely.
Don't you just love hearing about like the fact, I think it's amazing that we have a global audience and we can get references from around the globe of this stuff. I think that's amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
No doubt about that. You know, and I find it interesting as well. And it's just like, if I find it convenient that when scientists or whatever are looking at cave paintings or and stuff like that, that they lope along and they say, okay, this is a deer, this is a horse, this is, see, they're painting things that they see in everyday life. But when they get to something strange, oh, this is all made up.
Yeah, yeah, like a Bigfoot or a serpent. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a great point. Everything else is what they observed except the stuff they can't explain.
Except that.
Or like weird alien beings. Sometimes they seem to display alien kind of imagery, like the giant headed things that are walking around, and yet they don't put giant heads on their hunters with the bows and the spears and stuff, but they got these bulbous heads and things coming around with huge eyes, and it's like, well, that's not them. What is that? Yeah.
That's they were just using their imagination.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so okay.
All right, Josh Casto comes in next. Demons, laugh out loud, just kidding. But for real, let's see. Could be some types of lowercase g gods, maybe, I don't know. I mean, from what I know, not a lot of sightings. Could be them gods, but also could be some of those little gods doing, also could be some undisclosed species. Yeah, I don't know, LOL. Great question, Chucky. Could be anything, honestly. I'm at a loss. Sea creatures confuse me. Let's go. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know either, honestly. I don't know who this name is. God bless it. I hate that it does this. It goes into streamer mode and it crunches it for me. Wonder if I expanded the window, if it would make it bigger. Nope. Not at all. Doesn't help it even a little. Oh, that frustrates the hell out of me. Wonder if I do this. Let's look at the profile. It's boo. Okay, boo. Anyway, that didn't help at all. Thank you, Discord. You kind of suck. Thank you. Well, Nessie's been proven real, just enormous eels. Well, that's not really true. But there's, at least that could account for some of the sightings. I don't think that it's been proven. Other ones could be huge snakes or even lizards, huge salamanders. I don't know. Put anything out of the range there. The one that really confuses me is the Oklahoma octopus. The kraken and lusaka are not just possible, but probable. Just like gigantic sharks, not necessarily megalodon, but maybe still megalodon, yeah. I wish I knew who this name was. Anybody can tell me on the chat who this name is? I just don't know why it does this. Because look at Bogart and Rachel, I can read. Can read Josh Casto. Couldn't read Maggie, can't read the B. Who is that? Let me know in the chat, guys, if you would. So, all right, let's go to Bogart's. Oh, did you have any feedback on that one, Tex? Anything you wanted to say?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right, go to Bogart's, and we'll see what that one is. I think it could be real so much as the oceans haven't been explored yet, and you can't rule out fake sightings either. Dragons could have been real too, but they were all destroyed. I hope we get answers one day. Yeah, fair enough. What do you think about that idea, Tex? Do you think dragons were one time real, or is that some carryover from the dinosaurs that might have existed into more modern times? What's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, we're getting reports of the, I call them dino birds all the time.
Yeah.
Jason McLean had a sighting.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's
You
impressive.
need to get him on the show and talk to him about it.
Yeah. We'll have to do that. Yeah.
He got pterosaurs or...
Yeah, pterodactyl pterosaurs, yep.
Anaphylactic, I don't know, something source, I don't know. But again, I mean, it's like with so many cryptids that we talk about, is everybody's not making this stuff up.
Right.
You know? Yep. What they are, as far as dragons go, I think, and I was thinking about this actually here recently, when we talk about spitting fire and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What if they're not spitting fire, but they're spitting acid, which burns?
Funny that you just said that. I just had this discussion with my 10-year-old. He's like, "Do you think there's really dragons?" I said, "Yeah, but I don't know that they spewed fire, but I think maybe they spewed a corrosive liquid, and that was like fire to them. If it hit them, it felt like burning." So it just... I
mean, look at the salamander, the fire salamander.
Right.
You can also look at the bombardier beetle.
What do they do?
they fire out of their butt
Oh, an acid.
a burning liquid.
Oh, okay. I didn't know the salamanders did. Is that right? Really?
I believe so. They
Wow.
secrete an acid like, you know.
Ooh.
So it's not out of the realm of
Novel.
possibility at all. We have that now, you know.
Yeah.
So
Well, the ghost box says novel.
it's a novel idea.
It is a novel idea. That is very true. Yeah. Very appropriate for the discussion, I guess. All right, let's continue. Rachel 101 comes in and says it's interesting to see if and when environmental genetic testing is done on North American lakes and see if there are any unknown discovered there. It seems a couple of years ago this testing was in the spotlight, but I personally haven't read any recent studies about this. Perhaps it's been done, and there's an unknown DNA sample in a lab and being tested rigorously to discover what known species that cryptid is related to. Yeah. I think environmental DNA is a great tool to look into some of this, but I still think it's kind of the needle in the haystack. Like, maybe in water it's easier. I don't know. I don't know enough about it, but I think that you have to be in a place that you can be sure that any unknown species has touched or been in the presence of that for at least a little amount of time to leave genetic material. I mean, like we as humans, we're always shedding dander, whether it's visible or not. You don't have to have dandruff. You're always shedding skin cells. So of course that can be, discovered. Like if somebody tested my house, they'd be able to tell who I was that lived here. But I don't know if it's the same because there's a lot of weathering going on and other factors. And I don't know. Maybe. Rachel says, what did Rachel say? Brent, the unknown name. Yeah, Chucky told me that. It's BU55C, but I don't know the real name is. Yeah, me either. I guess it's somebody new, but welcome, BU55C. I have never seen you weigh in on Discord before, but thank you for weighing in. But yeah, I think that's a great idea. All right. See, go ahead.
I just saw this comment over in chat. At 01 Linda says, I go to Glen Rose, Texas to the Paluxy River and see the dinosaur tracks. Those were a huge beast. Mm-hmm. Some interesting things about the Paluxy and dinosaur. They call it Dinosaur Valley, and I've been several times. There's a creationist museum that sits right outside the park.
Oh.
And Jason is very good friends with Dr. Bob that runs the museum. Mm-hmm. But getting back to the prints that were found in the Paluxy River, there were a set of fossilized dinosaur prints that had fossilized human footprints in them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, that just shoots the timeline all to hell. I mean,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree. I think I do agree with that idea that humans have probably been around a lot longer than we're, being given credit for in modern sciences. Like a long time before.
Well, if you'll notice here in the last few years, they keep pushing the date that
yes.
we were walking around back and back. And
yeah.
back.
Yeah. Oh, no. I didn't mean 15,000 years. I meant 60,000 years. Now it's 100.
Yeah.
Now it's a few 100,000, and God only knows where we'll end up. But I'm pretty sure we were probably riding dinos back in the day at some point. Yep. Giddy Up. That's where it all came from, Tex. It's probably where Giddy Up came from, actually. Just saying.
Very possible.
It survived. So let's
Giddy Up, Mooly Milk.
Barbara Mora comes in next and says, I'm thinking lake monsters are living beings that travel the waterways beneath the Earth's surface. They probably are considered sacred because they are rarely seen. And I can't forget that there is a huge continent under the Antarctic that hasn't been explored. Scientists have found Lake Vostok under all that ice. And that's a good place to look for living fossils. That's a good point. That's a good point. I bet you they probably would find... And maybe by now they would be some evolved version of that if there is an evolution. I mean, I think species evolve to some degree. I'm not an evolutionist per se, but I think that's probable. Great thoughts, Barbara. Thank you.
Well,
John,
and also think about what we're told that I believe it was the Russians, um, that scientific team. There were several scientists that got killed by that octopus-like creature in the Antarctic
Oh,
when they
nice.
were doing that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if I'm familiar with that one actually. I might be. It's just not ringing a bell right now. But yeah, I mean, Antarctica is a completely untapped region largely. I mean, there's people studying ice cores and stuff there, and there's scientists based there. But as far as I know, nobody's gone the 2 kilometers of ice down to see what that continent is like underneath. They just did released a new map of that though, and it's pretty substantial. I mean, the landmass that's covered under 2 kilometers of ice is incredible. It's like, wow, that's a whole continent just down there sitting covered by well, I guess almost 2 miles of ice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I just watched a documentary that they cored all the way through it and got samples from the river below.
Yes, that's right. I remember hearing about that. You're right. You are right.
So that was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I wonder if they can do genetic testing on the water there to see if things show up that are everywhere else or if there's a bunch of other species from those water samples. Um, but anyway.
That's what they were looking. That's one thing they were looking for. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. I'm game. Let's see what they find. I'm also nervous they're going to release some kind of long dormant hell virus that's going that's going to come out of dormancy and decide to host in some scientists in Antarctica and then jump on planes or whatever. But
Right.
John Teeter, or John T, not John Teeter. Why did I do the time traveler name? John T, which is John Temprin. I think they're popping in and out of timelines. Oh, that's an interesting thought. Yeah, I mean, maybe. And last up is Annie Manuel, who at 8:21 p.m. said water dragons go back to 75,000 to southern Africa. Sometimes they have horns. That's all I know about them. Interesting thought. Okay, I didn't know they went back that far. That's fascinating. But this has been the question of the week, folks. Thank you guys for this. Special thanks to Chucky Danger. I appreciate you doing this, brother, and you're always amazing me. And thank you so much for all your help keeping this ball rolling. Barbara Mora says, I like that answer, John. She just answered no. So very cool. This has been the question of the week. Let's get back to the rest of our journey here. All right, because we got a lot more to do. You know what it's time for, Tex?
What the hell is that?
I should have you do a voiceover for it, too. Here we go.
What the hell is that?
What the hell is that? It's time, ladies and gentlemen. Newest segment on the show, but it's been a fun segment to go over video evidence. Just see, what you guys think. Again, I don't pretend that I'm an arbiter of truth and that what I say is right or wrong. I do appreciate you guys weighing in on this as we go through them. Tell me what you guys think. But this is where we look at photos and videos of claims and footages and see what you think. All right. So first of all, I gotta put this one out here because it just destroys me. I wish all these chats would not just open by themselves. I hate that. This one just pisses me off, to be honest with you. So, come on. Never mind. It may not work because I had to close it to close all the stupid chats on there. Hi, Brandy Butchers over on Facebook. Thumbing up the reels. I appreciate it. Thank you. And more posts. All right, I'm trying to click this damn link again.
It's her birthday today.
Brandy's birthday? Happy birthday, Brandy. That's wonderful. I don't know that she's watching, but happy birthday all the same. And where the hell? Why can't I get this? Let me pull up the page and see if I can get it from their page. That's annoying as hell. Oh, there's another one. Jesus. It's so damn stupid. There's a whole bunch of them there. But there was one that they posted that I had opened and now it's closed. But it's so ridiculously stupid. And we won't have time for all of it. But this is, let's just show this one just for the sake of the levels of stupidity involved here. I'll just put it up here. This is AI, and these are pretty easy to spot. I mean, they're so stupidly ridiculous that it's like, well, nobody with more than 4 firing neurons is going to have a problem going, no, that's not real. But unfortunately, social media has people with less. And some of these people are all on board that these videos are the real thing. But see what you guys think. Here's the first one that I'm going to show you. See what you think. Here it is, right here. There you go. What do you think the odds of that are? That I don't know, some sort of isn't that a snow cat or something like that from China? I don't know, but it's apparently riding a dolphin, and I'm gonna turn. I wish I could turn down the volume. Can't. I'm gonna get spanked for the song, but there you go. They're rescuing it. It was riding a dolphin. Isn't that sweet? Isn't that sweet? Oh, and they're giving the dolphin a break too, because he needs a scrubbing, I'm sure, and the cat needs a bath. And look at how the hair never really gets wet. Isn't that amazing? Oh, there it is. It's getting a little wet there. But this is the kind of hoaxery that drives me nuts. And the sad thing is that the videos are just getting really good. I mean, the quality of that is exceptional, but the material is ridiculous. They didn't just find a wild animal riding a dolphin, and it's going to let there and just let them give it a bath. Right, Tex?
No.
And look at how easy that crap washes off that dolphin. And they're friends, clearly. There's a lot of love going on here, folks. And let them go.
I think it's dead.
Well, it might be because that cat's sitting right on the blowhole there somewhere. So maybe he thought it was the latrine and killed the thing. No, I don't know. It looks like they released it back, but then it floated like a ducky on a bathtub instead of going underwater, which it should do. So there you go. This is the kind of stuff that irritates the hell out of me just because it's so dumb. But, at least this one doesn't have a lot of comments. I'm just curious what kind of comments are going on here. Oh, this is from CD12. God bless her. I don't know. Maybe she really thinks it's real. And I don't mean to make fun of that person necessarily because they're just posting this. But it says a miraculous healing mission rescuing a gravely ill whale and giving it a second chance at life. Mentioned nothing about the large cat riding it, whatever that was. Is that a snow leopard, or is that what I'm thinking of? I think it's
What it looked like.
Yeah, a Chinese snow. Look at how it didn't go into the water really. It just kind of glided on like a surfboard. But anyway, that's some of the ridiculousness that we're going to cover here. What's your thought on that, Tex?
I don't even know where to go with this.
There's like lots of levels of stupid here, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going to get more of your hat in.
I'm just what?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. It's definitely, that's a great reaction. What the hell is that? There you go. That's the first one. That wasn't the one I was going to show you, but it's just as stupid as the one I was going to show you. So, aggravated progressive says it's real. Leopard spit is a barnacle repellent. Rory696 says, I think that was taken from a polar bear cub that was rescued. I don't think it was actual footage at all, Rory. I think that was actually AI fabrication. I don't think anything with it we saw actually existed in real time. It was just rendered to look, probably that may have been a template that they built it on. But if you rescue a dolphin and put it on the deck of your ship, it's not going to be happy while you sit there and scrub it and scrub barnacles off it. And if you rescue a wild cat and you give it a bath, you're going to need chainmail at least, because that's going to be a lot of rage and fangs and claws. It's going to be a tornado of anger and angst. So cats generally don't like baths, and I'm sure the same is true for wildcats especially. Leopard's pee smells like popcorn. True fact. I didn't know that. I was today old when I learned that. Thank you, Annie.
I'm here.
Appreciate it. I feel better because of it. I don't know. Oh, this one. Here's some, and there's been others like this, and I think it's pretty clear that what's going on here is what we don't see, what's not available in the frame. But let's check it out. Here is the next one up on What the Hell Is That? And if you like Tolkien, you might really love this video because it gives you the impression that something very Tolkien-esque is going on. Here you go. Un árbol que camina, aunque tú no los creas, which I think means walking tree. There's the tree back there. Seems to be walking like an ant from Tolkien, right? There it goes. First take, Tex, what do you think of that?
Logging machine.
Boom. I agree. I agree completely. The problem with this one, yeah, it looks really bizarre. It's like, oh my God, what's going on here? But we can't see anything past that tree line. But you're right. I think it's, I think, and actually, Aggravated Progressive said he'd seen this one. It's, somebody says, I am Groot. Blues Chick says, I am Groot. I am Groot. I should have you do that, Tex, actually, with your rumbling. Yes, there you go. But Thinker Thunker actually was on board with a video like this out of Russia where these people were hiking and they saw these trees just moving and they thought it was Bigfoot just uprooting trees and carrying them around or something. But it turned out with more investigation that it was actually logging equipment. And and none of it, no, in Thinker Thunker's defense, nothing was visible. And even though it was an aerial shot of a tree just kind of marching around, the canopy was so thick that it couldn't be seen. But it did turn out that it was a logging operation going on there. And yeah, I mean, they sometimes clamp on with those big arms and they carry these trees over where they then tip them over and then they branch them out and then they turn into logs. That's it. So
there's a machine that they use. It's got a claw on it.
Yes.
Reaches out, grabs the tree, saws it off, and they either take it and lay it down. They'll take it and either lay it down at a certain location, or they'll lay it down right there where they saw it. But then they strip all their limbs off of it.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's really an incredible thing in that I mean, it's kind of tragic because I'm not a big fan of that personally because I love the forests the way they are, but the way those arms come out and they got that big rotating wheel right under that arm that clamps on it. It's like, and it's over. It's like, wow. It's really incredible, but yeah, that's not a walking tree, folks. It is a logging operation in the distance. I'm sure there's other videos out there that's what they found. It does look fascinating and like, wow, trees are sick of that place. They're moving. But no, it's logging. So there you go. And I have more because I actually found a bunch today and I was like, oh, I should probably talk about this one. Oh, I should talk about this one too. But now I got to find them all. I don't know what that one was. I pulled it up. Here's one that I got from Ramon. And I think this one's pretty cool. I think there's a video that goes along with this, I think, but I'm not positive. But the image itself is interesting. It apparently comes from a Colorado river rafting trip in 2025. But the question is, did they find a Bigfoot? I'm just trying to resize the damn window, and it's the little arrows are being a pain in my butt. There we go. Is it a Bigfoot? Well, let's put it up on screen. And you guys can be the judge. This is only a still frame of it, though, for what it's worth. God bless it. I hate Facebook, how it doesn't close the chats. Just leaves them open every time we pop in. Yeah, I know you do. I mean, it's great for, promoting and letting people know what's going on. But, God, it just gets to be a train wreck. All right, here it is. Here's the image. You guys tell me. What do you think? I'm going to leave this up to you guys. Do you think this is a real Bigfoot? And we can't really see a whole lot. I thought this was part like a still frame from a video, but maybe it wasn't. And I don't know for sure. So anybody got any thoughts on this one? What do you think? Is this real or not? It's sometimes hard because you got to wait for the chat. The delays between when I say something and then people have to type it out. Yeah. So 1, you think it's real. 0, you think it's not real. Let's just do it that way. That's the quickest way. 1, this is a real image of Bigfoot. No, this is someone promoting a backcountry hiking thing. 2, not a Bigfoot. What is he hugging? The top of a tree? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So, nope. Yep, okay. Very cool. It always seems we get pictures like this. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I will say that it doesn't look like it's beyond a normal human's with a furry suit on. So it doesn't seem to have, it looks like the goblin said 2, which wasn't really an option, but thank you for participating. 0s, Barbara Moore thinks 1. I remember it looked up kind of surprised. Is it? Yeah, I think Barbara, you're right. I think there's a video there, but I do think that this, personally, I guess Tex, what do you think first, since you're my co-host tonight?
I think it could go either way, just based off of what we're seeing. It's hard to you can't make a call.
Yeah.
You know.
It is hard to say. I mean, it's one piece. If we saw the video and saw it move, then it'd give us more information to work with. I think it's a still from a video. Am I right in that, Tex? Is this a video?
I do not know.
Okay, so you haven't seen it. Yeah. And you're right. I mean, what do you really see here? Well, not much. Just something that's not a tree and it looks furry. And that's about all we can tell. We can't tell how big those trees are surrounding it. Like if it's 9 feet tall, okay. Even if it doesn't necessarily fit the stereotypical parameters of what we think Bigfoot is, if it's 9 feet tall, it's a Bigfoot because that's not people anymore. That's out of people range. And it's hairy. so I think there's a lot to be said for that. But
absolutely.
Could be Shaq. Yeah, I guess that's
never know.
I don't know what he's doing out in the mountainside of Colorado, but you never know. It is a video, yes, Chucky says. Okay, I thought so. Shaggy. Like, yeah, Scoob. Could be Shaggy. You never know. Or it could be Scoob. Yeah. All right. Well, that's, I guess that's as far as we're going to go with this tonight because we're literally down to 15 minutes of show left and we still got to do the cryptid corner. It's a Shuck Wade.
About that.
Shuckwadi. Did you say, Ramon say
Shack Squatch?
Shack Squatch. Yeah. Could be a Shack Squatch. You never know. Very cool. All right. Well, this has been the question, or the what the hell is that? So let me close it out with this nice thing.
The hell is that?
And now it's time for this. Special thanks to Owl for both of those transitions. They are just wonderful. Appreciate them. All right, here we go. It's time for the cryptid corner. We don't have much time, but I can't leave you guys hanging with nothing cryptid other than a few pictures. And there was actually more videos I had pulled up, but just in time management, we ran out of time, Tex. It's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay, though.
It's quality over quantity, right?
That's right. Yep. Amen. Although I'd like more quantity money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I got a quantity of bills, let me tell you. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go to this. This is, I haven't really hit Phantom. Lon has got an issue with his blog right now. And I do have some of his articles pulled up that we could go into, but I do have one more from Sasquatch Chronicles, and I think we'll start there and see where we end up with time. If I got time, we'll hit one of Lon's. But his blog has had some issues, and he's rebuilding it, so it's been kind of out of service lately, and I thought I would keep the articles I have because it could be several weeks before that comes up, and I don't know when it'll be back in service full swing, but Phantoms and Monsters is an incredible site. Please get involved and subscribe to Lon's channel, Phantoms and Monsters Radio on YouTube as well. And please go check out SasquatchChronicles.com. And that's where we're going to start the journey today because we got some We got some article to read here. Listener email, ladies and gentlemen. So here we go. Oh, I was just reading. I didn't really read. Generational logging is fine. It leaves the national forest alone, friends. We need lumbers. Yeah, that's true, Justin. You're right. Absolutely. And I have nothing against, responsible logging and the companies that replant and stuff. I just, it's tough to look at a beautiful forested mountain and then see it just bald. There's a few up here that are like that. And it's like, oh my God. It's hard to see that they took every tree or nearly every tree. And that breaks my heart. But I think your forests have to be logged, just for full disclosure, yes. Otherwise, they become horrible fire hazards. There's a lot of reasons for it. So, logging areas in the Pacific Northwest are cut every 50 years. Yeah, I know. Some of the actual virgin trees are no longer here. There's all regrowth. All these places are pretty well logged through the 1900s early. So here we go. Starting with Sasquatch Chronicles blog. I guess that's not framed very well. I'm going to try again here. I'm going to frame it up a little better. See if I can drag it over. There we go. Jesus, don't do that. My 2 strange experiences in the woods. And I want to be here instead. Sorry. My 2 strange experiences in the woods from Sasquatch Chronicles blog from June 28th. This is today old, ladies and gentlemen. It's breaking listener email from Mr. Wes Germer. Special thanks, Wes. Appreciate it, brother. A listener writes, I'm a 24-year-old guy who's from southern Michigan. I've been a listener for a long time, and I decided I would like to share 2 different stories with you. I'd like to preface, these stories are not incredibly exciting, nor do I believe they're worthy of your podcast. However, they were both strange experiences I've had while out in the woods, and I have no explanations for them. Really, I'm just looking to reach out to somebody who has a bit more experience researching these sorts of things, and any opinion or response would be greatly appreciated. Story number 1, good friend of mine who happens to be from Europe that I met a long time ago wanted to do a road trip across the United States. We left from Michigan and did a tour of the great expanse of the western U.S., and this strange experience happened about halfway through our trip. It was at the very end of August in 2022, and at this point we were touring the Olympic Peninsula of Washington State, and we were a couple of young and broke guys looking for adventures. So during this whole road trip, we tried to do dispersed camping as often as possible in order to cut back on costs. One evening while we were looking for a dispersed camping area, and I read online about a spot on the south side of Lake Crescent in an old National Forest road. I lack memory of the exact forest road, but we were camped inland and Highway 101 ran between our spot and the lake. We were just south of Meldrum Point of the lake, if that helps. So like I said, we were just driving around looking for a spot, and this one seemed to be a promising online. It was already dark and getting late at this point, so we decided to go ahead and check this spot out. I remember driving down the road and not seeing a lot of potential for camping initially, and finally we got to a point with some flat and clear ground where we could set up our tent. Now, our first problem has arrived. The spot we were looking to lay our tent is right next to a large group of people camping out of the travel trailers. And these are the only people we've seen on the road, and we did not want to cause them any issues, so we decided to go up to the group, greet them, and politely ask if the area that we wanted to set our tent was legal and to do dispersed camping. And they told us we could, in fact, camp there. However, they came off a bit strange and unwelcoming. This detail would be important for later. Now, we've started setting up our tents. There's a consistent noise in the background of conversation from the group of people, and my friend and I continue to set up camp, make and eat dinner, and we head in for the night. For this trip, we shared one massive tent, and it could probably sleep up to 8 people, but it was just the 2 of us. We had our own separate sleeping bags and air mattresses, and we were just winding down and just talking about our day when we started to hear footsteps near our tent. The footsteps I would have to guess were no more than 50 feet from our tent. And that's extremely liberal, and they were close. To me, they sounded more like a biped, but to be honest with you, I couldn't be 100% sure. I'm by no means an experienced outdoorsman, hunter, or tracker, but I've spent my fair share of time hiking and camping, and I've had a plethora of wildlife encounters. While these footsteps are falling around the tent, my friend and I begin to feel uneasy and start to discuss the situation. What is that? Is it some kid from that group of people, or is it an animal? Well, after about 10 minutes of this, I feel uneasy to the point where I'm going to confront this thing, and I don't know exactly what it is, but it needs to bug off. I was unarmed at the time, so I grabbed a flashlight, bear spray, and a bushcraft knife. All while I'm rustling through the tent grabbing these things, I'm still hearing the footfalls outside. My friend and I both stand up, and I ask him if he's ready to exit the tent and confront this thing with me, and as soon as I rip the zipper down, the noise ceases immediately. I didn't hear something run, climb a tree, or hit the floor. The noise just stopped. I look around the area with my flashlight and find no trace of life. My friend and I get back in the tent and lay down. No more than 3 minutes after lying down again, we hear the same footfalls. I decided to wait it out for another 5 to 10 minutes. Is it still tramping around our tent? And once again, uneasy and fed up, we go for the same plan. I unzip the tent. The moment we exit, the noise stops again. Once again, we didn't hear it run away. We didn't hear it climb a tree or hit the floor. We do an even more extensive search this time, covering a wider area, and still no signs of life. Whatever, right? If this thing is going to stay here, let's just go to bed. Sure as can be, after a couple of minutes after we lay back down and got settled, we hear the footsteps again. And this time, just for a couple of minutes, we hear footsteps, and out of nowhere, wham! A loud crash that sounded like someone taking a baseball bat to a tree that was near deafening. I would not say that this sound was quite gunshot loud, but close enough. As soon as my friend and I hear this, we instantly sit up and a wave of panic sets in over us. We were terrified. We immediately started to discuss our options. I made the executive decision to leave and tell my friend word for word, I don't know what is out there, but whatever it is doesn't want us here. We packed up our camp at lightning fast speed, and we drove a few miles down the road and slept in the car that night. So I guess this is where I'm having a hard time with the story. I didn't hear anything other than the footsteps and what could be portrayed as a wood knock. Could this have been a group of people I was talking about before, running us out of camp? I thought I even heard them down there with walkie-talkies at one point. Could they have been Bigfoot researchers trying to draw a Sasquatch in? Could it have just been a bear, deer, or mountain lion? But that doesn't explain why the sound and footsteps seemed to just shut off as soon as we exited the tent. It was audible, loud footsteps to silence at the drop of the pin. I cannot emphasize how instant that was. You'd think I'd hear something run away if it was trying to hide, especially with how large it sounded just pacing. Why also, if there's a natural explanation, could I not find the thing with 2 solid attempts? I don't want to say I had a Bigfoot encounter because I really don't know. I'm completely open to the natural explanation to this experience, but I haven't been able to come up with one yet on my own. Got to take a quick drink. The snapping of plastic. All right, and then there's story number 2. It's really well written, though, yeah? I mean, this is a real easy story to read. I like that.
Yeah.
You've come across several, I'm sure, through the years. It's like, oh my God, how do I make this make any sense?
Absolutely.
I did just a week ago. I was just like, I don't know if these are sentences or somebody just threw words at a page. It was crazy. Story number 2. This story takes place on the other side of the country in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, near Taquamenahan Falls State Park. I have no idea if I'm anywhere near the right pronunciation on that. My apologies to any Michiganders out there listening, going, what the hell did you just say? My family owns a cabin that I've been going on trips to ever since before my first birthday. So it's a very special place to me. And we have a big family gatherings at this camp almost every year. The property has a small cabin with 4 single beds and a couch to sleep, a pole barn, and is located right on a small inland lake. From the front door of the cabin to the shore of the lake spans no more than 100 yards. That area is clear-cut and is flat ground. We're having one of those big family rendezvous in the summer of 2024, and there's probably about 10 people there. Well, the cabin only slept 5, and that was already claimed. My cousins were sleeping on cots in the pole barn, so I opted just to set up a tent between the cabin and the lake for my sleeping accommodation. I went one night with no weird experiences. Great. The following night, we actually got the blessing of viewing the northern lights, and it was absolutely stunning, and the best light show I've seen up there to date. We probably called it in at about 1 a.m. and headed to bed. In the middle of the night, my eyes shot open, and I sat up in my air mattress. There was an immediate primordial response, so I immediately tried to figure out why I had done this. And then I hear something that sounds like scratching about 100 feet from me. I'm trying to figure out what kind of sound this is. I quickly check my phone, and it's about 3:30 a.m. The noise keeps going, and it reminds me of bark being stripped off a tree. Up there, it's almost all red pines, and the bark is quite flaky and can be removed easily. I know a thing or two about wildlife, so this makes me think maybe it's a black bear scratching its back on a tree. Whatever it was making that noise was loud, and at the time seemed like a perfectly good explanation to me. Well, whatever it is, I'm terrified. I am armed in this situation, but for some reason, I was scared to the point where I did not want to confront whatever this was. As my thoughts are racing and I'm trying to be as still and quiet as I can, I suddenly notice that the tent gets darker. How is this possible? Let me be clear. There was no shadow or silhouettes that came over the tent. The light was just dampened. Then very slowly, the light came back. It gave me the impression that someone was behind the cabin near the driveway and slowly passing a flashlight from left to right, or right to left, scoping out the area. Okay, it's probably getting to about 4 a.m. and the noise is staying persistent with no signs of stopping. What I know at this point is that there is someone in the driveway shining a flashlight around camp and a bear scratching its back on a tree simultaneously. Well, that's not an impossible story, but it's not making a whole lot of sense. I then remember that we had a can crusher near our campfire, and we were putting our crushed beer and soda cans into garbage bag. Could this be the source of the noise? Well, what explanation is there for that? An animal is checking out the garbage bag where the smell of sugar and malt is quite intense? I'd assume, but what gives with the light? Both the light and the sound stayed consistent for about an hour. I checked my phone for the time just after 4:30 a.m., and the lights and sound were still persistent. I'm terrified at this point, yet still exhausted. I fall asleep to these mystery sounds eventually after checking my phone for the last time. I wake up in the morning and I'm bound to think to find an explanation for this weird night, and I immediately go to the area where I think the bear could have been scratching in a pine tree. I look at all the trees in that area closely and find no evidence of any bark removed whatsoever. Well, I then go to the garbage bag, which is the crushed cans, but still no sign of activity. And you'd think if an animal was there messing around, I'd find a mess, but everything was in the garbage bag, clean and tidy. Well, what the hell's going on? I proceed to ask everyone at the camp whether they A, heard some strange sounds last night, or B, were out and about shining flashlights, and no one had any idea what I was talking about. So once again, I'm left with no answer to this strange encounter. The only natural explanation I can come up with is that there was some drunk or drug addict passing and looking through our garbage bags of cans. That makes sense. That makes no sense, rather. The area is very isolated. Not to mention, you would have to want a death sentence to trespass in that area. There's not a single person I know near my cabin who is not armed. Wes, if you somehow made it to the end of these exhaustive yet not too intriguing stories, I have to give you my gratitude. Thank you for reading this far, and any response whatsoever would be greatly appreciated. I also want to reemphasize, I don't believe these stories are podcast worthy, nor am I all that inclined to talk on a podcast. I'm simply looking for some insight into my strange encounters in the woods, and would love to know if you've heard anything similar. So let's start with you, Tex. What do you think in both of those accounts?
Well, I've experienced both.
Yeah.
So, the thing about it is you don't know. You don't know what it is. It's just a creepy experience.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I've had footsteps which sounded like a person walk right by my tent. In fact, when I first heard it, I thought, why are you coming over here to take a leak by my tent? You know, and then you get this, right by my ear. I guess right in my ear.
Wow.
What was it? I don't know. My tent was all buttoned up, and once you start moving around, much like the story, it's going to stop or run off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it could have been anything,
Right.
But if you can tell the difference between, a lot of it comes with, being able to tell the difference between quadrupedal walking and bipedal walking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, the scratching sounds, who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. Mr. Duffy says, I think he meant Brent, not Bread. You should read books on tape for authors. You could be the next Charlton Heston. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you. I'm glad that my voice isn't irritating the hell out of you. That's a good thing. I don't know that I've heard the scratching thing. I have heard ghostly footsteps in locations, and I don't know how to explain that. They could be residual, it could be an active haunting. I don't know. But it's something I've certainly experienced, even in places I've lived. I've heard somebody walking in a closed up, unused area of a house right above my head. And I was like, well, that's not normal, but okay. And I turned over and went back to sleep. But I have also, with my own eyes, and I've shared this one other time on the show, it was a very weird experience. And it was actually up here in the north tip of Idaho. I was driving with a friend of mine, Steve, at the time, and we were going on this mountain road near where I saw the UFO that I saw. But if you know anything about the forest up here in the Pacific Northwest, there's two very different things going on. What's going on in the sky doesn't really matter for what's going on in the forest, because the forests are very dark. And when you're driving along a thick mountain road with a thick forest all around you, you don't really get a lot of ambient light. You get enough that you can see. But we were driving along, and it was right alongside of this creek. And the creek is actually called Trout Creek. And we're driving up along on this logging road into the forest, and suddenly, and we both saw it, and I saw it first and didn't know what to say because I didn't know what the hell I was seeing. But it was like this wall of darkness moved through the forest about 150 yards in front of us, but it was in the forest. It was like a patch of blackness moving along. And I saw it, and I was just like, oh, God, I don't know what to say. I didn't say anything. And then Steve, the guy that's driving, he said, did you see that? I was like, well, I don't know. What I saw was a bunch of blackness moving through the forest. He's like, yeah, what the hell is that? And I was like, I don't know. We didn't know, and I'd never seen anything like it before, but it was probably about 50 yards wide, this patch of blackness moving through the forest. And it was like a piece of midnight going through the forest. It was just black. And I, to this day, don't know what I saw. I don't even know how to characterize it. I was thinking maybe it's some kind of ancient intelligence, like a spiritual energy, maybe something not good, maybe good. I don't know. It just felt like I was impressed as hell when I saw it, but I don't know what I saw. Have you ever seen anything like that, Tex?
The only thing I've experienced like that was one time, and it was in Brown Springs, and I was in camp by myself. Mm-hmm. And I was waiting on some others to arrive. And I'd been there several hours. I
Mhm.
was just sitting around the campfire waiting on people to get there. And it was more of a feeling of darkness.
Oh,
But
okay.
I mean, the environment did get, I mean, because everything got quiet and it was just a foreboding feeling, but it felt dark. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
Um, I didn't know that, of course, it was dark already.
Mhm.
So, um, but it stayed for about 30 minutes and then it just disappeared. So I've never seen darkness cover force like that. That would be,
It
yeah,
was.
that's a whole new level, man. I'm just saying.
I was glad I was in a car. I just didn't know, and it
Yeah,
wasn't like it came
absolutely.
towards us. It was like it was moving through the forest, kind of at an angle we couldn't have followed anyway because we were on this winding logging road. But it was just like, that's the noise in my head. There was no noise. There was nothing. But I was just going to shut up about it. Like, man, I don't know what the hell I saw, and I didn't want to look like an idiot, so I didn't say anything. And then he said, "Did you see that?" And I was like, "Yeah, well, what I saw." And then he was like, "Yeah, exactly." And I was like, "Oh, good. I'm glad he saw it too." That was another one of those instances that if I was alone, I would have just chalked it up to, I don't know, just a vision glitch or something, because it was just so ambiguous. Now, it was a bright, sunny day. It was, again, you're in the forest, so everything's dark because it's all a canopy of
Right.
conifers. But it was just blackness moving through. I was like, wow, that's amazing. So crazy stuff. But I'll tell you what, Tex, it's been wonderful to have you back. I've missed you.
Yeah, I miss being able to do this.
Yeah.
Fortunately, at least I get to do it. Every once in a while. So
Yeah, amen. I'm glad you made it tonight, and you're obviously always welcome. Whenever you can be here, it's a pleasure to have you with me, brother. It's been a great journey. And again, everybody go over to Texas Front Porch channel, get subscribed, support what this man is doing. He's been working at this for years. He busts his ass on it, and he's out there finding amazing stuff. And your support is going to help to push the narrative forward. I mean, all he can do
thank
is
you.
find the stuff and put it out there and hope you guys notice. But please notice. Please go and check out that video. Give it a like. Go get subscribed to Tex over on Texas Front Porch. Share that video out there to show that, hey, there is good research going on. There's things being found still. Because I keep hearing in the Bigfoot community, oh, it's been real quiet. Nothing's going on. No, there's a lot going on. You can't just have these focal points for this stuff. Like,
Right.
well, I tune into so and so for all my Bigfoot information. That's wonderful, and that's, I'm not degrading that, but there's a host of people out there that are doing a lot of work trying to find answers, and they need you to notice. They need you to help spread the word about what's going on. So definitely give Tex a leg up on that. Share that discovery because I think that's enormous. So please do that. There you go. But yeah, brother, once again, can you let people know where to find you? I think I kind of did, but just in closing.
Right over on Texas Front Porch. That's TEX apostrophe S, because it's my front porch. And yeah, we're on YouTube. We're anywhere you can find a podcast. I mean, but if you want to look at the evidence that we've got out there, and there's more than just that fingerprint, And I don't put my evidence and go, this is this.
Yeah.
I can't, because that's my opinion. That's what I believe. I put it out there. You tell me what you think.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. And I try not to edit my videos a lot. So in a video where you've got me walking through the woods,
Mm-hmm.
you may have to sit through a few minutes of me walking through the woods and not really see anything. But the thing about it is, you might see something that I missed.
Yeah.
So I've got, there's a video out there, and I know it's hard to see, but it's from Dogman Ranch, and it's very possible that I caught a dogman on film.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
you
Yeah.
can go out there and take a look at that. And there's other stuff out there too.
Yes.
So.
Yes. I'll tell you what, I think you're doing great things, and I appreciate your continued enthusiasm and energy directed at this. And yeah, if we can help support that, that's great. So everybody, please head over to Texas Front Porch, check out some of his work, and give him some love. The man's doing doing the hours, he's doing the time, he's looking for answers for all of us. So God bless you, sir. Thank you for coming on, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Anytime, brother. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. Until Wednesday, I guess I'll be back. But there won't be a new podcast on Monday because I finished season 6 and I'm taking a break. I'm taking a little breather, but we'll have more podcast episodes coming up as soon as I can wrangle some in for you. But that's it for us. I'm using Texas talk. Did you hear that, wrangle? Yeehaw. All right, everybody. Love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day. And remember to laugh as much as you can. Till next time. See you guys. Good night, everybody.